Mouth guard, people!
Fear. No, that's not ours. Disgust. Glad to have her on our team.
Our little girl's growing up so fast. Ow.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Inside Out 2 is one of those rare sequels that fans have been waiting for since the moment the first movie ended. The original Inside Out left a deep emotional impact on audiences all around the world. And now, with the sequel finally here, Pixar seems ready to take us back inside the mind of Riley, only this time things are about to get much more complicated. The story continues with Riley now stepping into her teenage years, a time when emotions don't just grow, they collide. This means joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust are no longer the only ones in charge. Riley's mind is expanding, and so are the emotions that shape her every decision. The movie dives into that confusing yet exciting stage of life when childhood simplicity fades and the teenage storm begins. Inside Out 2 beautifully captures that transformation by introducing brand new emotions that represent the turbulence of growing up. It's a smart move from Pixar, showing how our emotional world becomes layered and unpredictable as we mature. The familiar headquarters of Riley's mind is still there, but this time it's undergoing construction, both literally and symbolically as new emotions move in and challenge the balance that Joy and her friends once maintained. The dynamic among the original emotions remains strong, but their relationships are tested like never before. Joy still tries to maintain control, hoping to keep Riley's happiness intact, but the new emotions bring perspective she's never had to deal with. Anxiety becomes a major force in Riley's teenage years, representing the constant fear of not fitting in or making the wrong choices. Envy and embarrassment step in to stir things further, reflecting how self-consciousness takes over during adolescence. Nostalgia makes a touching entry too, reminding both Riley and the audience of how much simpler things used to be. Pixar uses these emotions to mirror the real-life experience of growing up in a way that's both entertaining and deeply relatable. Visually, Inside Out 2 pushes Pixar's animation to a new level. Every emotion has evolved not just in design, but in how they interact with Riley's inner world. The headquarters is more advanced, filled with glowing memories, tangled thoughts, and emotional currents that visually represent teenage confusion. The color palette shifts between bright, warm tones when joy is in control to chaotic, blended hues when anxiety or envy dominate. Each scene is filled with small details that symbolize emotional growth, new memory orbs glowing in unfamiliar shades, emotional storms swirling in the background, and glimpses of Riley's growing independence reflected in her mindscape. The humor in the film remains clever and heartwarming, much like the first movie, but there's a new edge to it. The jokes feel more mature, reflecting Riley's transition into her teenage years. The interactions between the emotions are filled with playful banter, arguments, and moments of deep understanding. Pixar has managed to strike the perfect balance between laughter and tears, making sure the film appeals to both children and adults. It's not just about growing up. It's about learning to accept every part of who you are, even the emotions that make you uncomfortable. Riley herself becomes a more complex character in this sequel. No longer the innocent, cheerful girl from the first movie, she's now facing real-world challenges like friendship struggles, self-doubt, and the pressure to figure out who she wants to be. Her parents, still loving and supportive, can't fully understand what she's going through anymore, which leaves Riley relying more on her internal emotions. This inner conflict is where the film's most powerful moments come from. The emotional highs and lows are raw and authentic, showing how difficult it can be to stay balanced when your feelings are constantly shifting. The introduction of anxiety as a main emotion gives the movie a powerful new dimension. Unlike anger or fear, anxiety isn't just about reacting, it's about anticipating problems before they happen. This leads to some of the film's most intense moments as anxiety tries to take control of Riley's mind, believing she's protecting her. Joy, on the other hand, sees anxiety as a threat to Riley's happiness, leading to a clash that represents the inner struggle many people face when overthinking or worrying too much. The movie doesn't treat anxiety as a villain, though it portrays her with compassion, showing that even difficult emotions have an important role to play. The pacing of Inside Out 2 is smooth and emotionally driven. Every scene feels meaningful, connecting one emotional beat to another without losing focus. The transitions between Riley's real-life experiences and the inside of her mind are seamless, allowing the audience to feel both the external and internal impact of her growing pains. The film also includes subtle references to the first movie, creating a sense of continuity that longtime fans will appreciate. Certain memory orbs from her childhood reappear, bringing nostalgia and showing how even the smallest moments can shape who we become. The music in Inside Out 2 once again plays a crucial role in enhancing the storytelling. The score captures both the warmth of childhood memories and the intensity of teenage emotions. Soft piano themes blend with more dynamic, synth-driven melodies to represent the clash between innocence and maturity. Each emotional shift in the story is reflected in the music, making the audience feel connected to Riley's inner world on a deeper level. Pixar's sound design also shines here, with subtle auditory cues that represent thoughts forming, memories blending, and emotions shifting in tone. One of the standout qualities of the sequel is how it handles emotional education. While the first movie taught kids and adults the value of sadness, Inside Out 2 teaches that even the messiest feelings like anxiety and embarrassment are part of being human. It encouraged self-acceptance and emotional awareness in a way that's easy to understand yet profoundly moving. The storytelling doesn't shy away from showing how hard it can be to accept yourself when you're changing, but it also reminds us that growth often comes from chaos. The emotional climax of the film is both powerful and beautifully crafted. When anxiety takes over and everything in Riley's mind starts to spiral out of control, the emotions are forced to work together to restore balance. It's a visually stunning sequence filled with intense colors, swirling memories, and heartfelt dialogue. Joy learns that growing up doesn't mean losing happiness, it means redefining it. Sadness once again proves that vulnerability and empathy are just as important as joy, while the new emotions learn to coexist rather than compete. The resolution is deeply satisfying, reminding the audience that emotional balance isn't about control, but understanding. Pixar also adds subtle humor and Easter eggs throughout the movie, keeping the tone light even during heavy moments. Fans of the first film will recognize returning elements like the train of thought and the memory dump, now reimagined in clever ways. There are also glimpses of new locations within Riley's mind, like the Social Awareness District and Dream Archive, each filled with witty visual details that reflect the chaos of teenage life. Every scene is crafted with Pixar's signature creativity and emotional intelligence, blending deep meaning with accessible storytelling. The voice performances bring the emotions to life once again with incredible depth. Joy's optimism, sadness's tenderness, anger's fiery frustration, and fear's nervous charm all feel as authentic as ever. The actors behind the new emotions, especially anxiety, deliver performances that capture the complexity of teenage feelings with nuance and humor. The chemistry among the cast adds to the film's emotional strength, making even the smallest moments feel real and heartfelt. Inside Out 2 doesn't just revisit familiar ideas, it expands them. It shows that emotions evolve with us, becoming more intricate as we grow older. The story is a reminder that our minds are always changing, and that's okay. Growing up isn't about losing control or becoming someone else. It's about learning to live with all the different parts of yourself. Pixar captures that idea perfectly, wrapping it in stunning visuals, heartfelt writing, and a universal message that speaks to audiences of every age. By the end of the film, viewers are left with a sense of closure and hope. Riley's journey through adolescence is portrayed with honesty, humor, and compassion, making Inside Out 2 not just a worthy sequel, but an emotional masterpiece in its own right. It's a story about growing up, embracing change, and finding peace with who you are becoming. Just like the first movie, it leaves you thinking long after the credits roll, proving once again that Pixar knows exactly how to touch the heart while making you smile through tears.